Okay, so let's go through the quick review of the IBM Quantum Educators Summit 2022, which took place on the 3rd of August. I'll go through the objectives of the summit, the amazing educational tools and resources that we've all now got at our fingertips. You've just got to follow the links and sign up to the websites and you get everything for free, and what you get is amazing. I'll then go through some of the talks, but I'll go through them very quickly because we don't have time. I may do a follow-up YouTube video to give some of these the time they deserve, but I will be talking a bit about the quantum games, a bit of a thing of mine, as you know from the other week. KSK textbook, which explains quantum computing, how to do it. KSK's the IBM programming language. So I'll be going through that. It's going through a major update. It is getting even better somehow. We'll then have a quick look at Composer and QLab, which is where you're basically accessing a real quantum computer. And IBM takes you through it step by step. But the big takeaway for me is the syllabus creator. It is fantastic. Liron Gill, the senior KSK product manager, talking about, he created online a fantastic syllabus on quantum computing in 3 minutes. Something that it would take me 6 months to do and no one near as good. It's unbelievable. Wait until you see it. Okay, but let's start with logging on to the website that you can see beneath us. Before we go to the talks or discuss the talks, I've highlighted the educational resources up at the top, the pull-down menu. And there's so much stuff on here. Before you even get to hear 8 hours of the speakers talking. On the right, you can see how IBM was preparing for the session and a roadmap of how IBM's hardware is stacking up, which is absolutely amazing. They're expecting to have well over thousands of qubits in a couple of years' time. And IBM are always very accurate with their predictions. They're actually surpassing their predictions at the moment. Again, in this educational resources download, you can see on the right-hand side is a blog where IBM talks about many different things, what's happening. And on the left-hand side, we have I think it was from Singapore, or maybe it was Brazil, but this is someone who taught quantum computing without any prerequisites. And this was a case study. I found it very interesting. And there's a number of these available. And also on the education resources are these fantastic little super riddles. So it's a riddle that can't be solved by normal logic, but a quantum computing can solve them. And they're fantastic. I wish I had time to go through them all. So here's all the talks that occurred. We can see that it was 8 hours of pure information overload. It was fantastic. And I'm only going to go over a number of issues today. But what's happening, all the doctors you can see down there, basically were speakers talking about what they're doing at their university. And that was fantastic. But the actual KSK, using it, the advanced tools, what's happening in the K-12 education, all of this information is available to students, to quantum educators, to researchers, or anybody who has any sort of an interest in quantum computing. I'm going to show some of the papers from these guys. These are 4 of the speakers. They were so good. Liron Gill, who, as I say, is the senior KSK product manager. He will take us through creating a syllabus. Wait until you see that. It's unbelievable. But let's start with Dr. Tom Wong. He basically has invented his own game called Qubit Touchdown, which you can purchase for a very reasonable fee, or you can actually make your own. They show you how to make the cards, etc., etc. So it's for the younger people, of course, but after they've played the game a few times, you just have to tell them, hey, you've been doing quantum computing, and then explain what it means with things like when you apply a Hadamard gate and you're currently in state one, etc., etc., etc. Now, this was fantastic. This is Nick Brown. I'm throwing this in really quickly because, and I'm not doing it justice, because look at it. They're talking about the KSK Pulse, where you can see the effect of the microwave pulses. When you actually do quantum computing, the physically happening is that a quantum particle is being manipulated by microwaves of different intensity, duration, different phase. And KSK will take your students through that part of the course. It's unbelievable. KSK runtimes interfaces with real quantum computer, and you can do experiments, and dynamics is a new one, which is unbelievable. But really, I was enthralled by Nick Braun. Excellent talk. Well done, sir. Matthew Stipolkowski took us through IBM Quantum Composer. Most of us in the industry are very familiar with the IBM Q experience, which is largely Composer, where with just drag and drop, you can set up your own quantum applications. It could not be easier. But Matthew takes you through that. You can also do quasi-experiments on a real quantum computer. It's just so exciting, really worth watching. And now we're going to get on to Liron. Well, let him do the talking, and I'll play a quick video of what he showed us on the night. This is sensational. It's the only way.
Here we'll see that we're in the KSK textbook. In the top right corner, you'll see a user icon. In order to create your course within the textbook itself, you'll need to create an account. I've already created an account, and when you do that, you'll be brought to your learning page. And the learning page really just has all the content that exists within the textbook itself. To create your class, you'll want to click on the Classroom tab, and in that you'll see two options. One where you can create a syllabus from scratch, or another option where you can edit an existing syllabus. In this case, I've already created one for the demonstration of this video, so let's edit that one. Now that we're in the syllabus, we can start filling it out. I've already started it for us a bit with a syllabus name. In this case, I've called it Introduction to Quantum Computing, and I've given an instructor name and just added Lerone Gill. These are the only two fields that are actually required. The rest of these fields are optional. You can add a location, you can add the university name. If they're office hours, you can give it any office hours, the class hours, and the email or the contact information that you'd like students to reach out to. You can save that directly and continue adding on more content. So in this case, I start off with a course description, and this is just to kind of set the foundation for what students can expect to learn in this course. So I've given a couple sentences, and I've also attached some prerequisites that I'd like learners to complete before the first day. This includes setting up your environment and getting familiar with Python and some Jupyter notebooks. You can save that and continue on. In this case, for the first week, we're going to start with single systems. Similarly, we give it just a brief description, and here we can take advantage of some of the tools of this free text box to link out to custom content that lives outside of the KSK textbook. So that's what I've done exactly here. And you can also add problem sets, and problem sets are a bit self-explanatory, but it's a way of assessing the student's knowledge over the content that is taught that week. So let's save that and keep going. So you can keep adding more content for each week of the course. For the sake of time, I'm going to just save this syllabus and show you what it looks like. So this is what a rough syllabus might look like. You would have the general information at the top, the course description, and any relevant content to read for the entire course, as well as you might have it broken up by week. Let's take a look at what the problem sets actually look like. So here within the problem sets, you'll notice that we have some multiple choice questions, as well as some coded exercises. And these coding exercises are a way to actually get a deeper understanding of a student's knowledge of a specific concept that goes beyond a simple multiple choice question. And what's neat is that a student can actually enter in their solution, run to see if they're correct, before actually grading it and submitting it to the professor. And if they don't want to edit the initial prompt, they can click on this icon in the top right corner, copy it over to the Scratchpad, and do their prototyping over here as well. And once they're done, they simply copy paste their solution back into the free response and click grade. So I hope this gives you a good idea for how you can create, teach, and assess an entire course from within the Qiskit education platform.
Okay, so what do we take away from this summit? I take away as this is the best conference I have ever been on. It was unbelievable. Quantum computing, any time spent in quantum computing is worthwhile, because even if you want to move on to other areas of STEM, and we just encourage you to get into STEM. It's a fantastic gateway. Also, the day was all about community and networking. Really, our work has started now, after the summit, because it's now that we're going to network, talk to like-minded people, people doing the same thing all over the globe, just enriching our value proposition, providing communal learning environments. There's a lot of experiment of scientific proof and evidence that if you get students in a nice environment where they're collaborating and working together and building off each other, then that's a huge outcome. And finally, these tools and resources are amazing. Use them. Talk to you soon.